1 in 10 people are forced to skip meals because they don't have enough food. According to a new United Nations report, one reason is because those who can afford to eat buy more than they need and throw the rest away, almost 1 billion tonnes of it each year. It's an issue that highlights the inequalities in the global economy and undermines efforts to tackle the climate crisis. Well, for more on this, let's go to Dr. Richard Swannell. He's the director of WRAP, which is the organisation that helped the UN Environment Programme with this year's Food Waste Index report. He joins us now from Oxford in the UK. Welcome to the programme, Doctor. Now, the headline figure, 900 million tonnes of food waste each year, it does seem like a staggering amount. Can you tell us more about who is throwing this food away and where are they throwing it from?
So this 931 million tonnes that is being wasted is wasted from three sources. It's wasted from the households, it's wasted from retail, and it's wasted from hospitality and food services. And this is right across the world. So one of the big findings of this report is that actually food waste in the homes is a problem for countries across the world. It's a global problem rather than it being particularly, as some previously thought, was actually just a rich world problem.
Yes.
And to get an idea,
I'm sorry, no, please continue.
I was just going to say, just to give an idea of scale, in that wonderful graphic you had, you said this amount of food waste would fill 23 million fully loaded 40-ton trucks. And if you put those end to end, they would go round the earth completely 7 times. That just gives you an idea of the scale of this.
And tell us more about this connection between food waste and the climate crisis. How are those two linked?
Yeah, so if you think right across the supply chain, so from something that's actually grown, let's take a cauliflower that's grown. And then as that's grown, that uses energy and fertilizer in order to grow it. Then it's harvested, that uses energy. And then it's actually packed and refrigerated, often goes through the supply chain. That uses energy all the way through. It may be packaged and it goes into supermarkets or into markets where it's then sold. That will use energy, and then it goes into our homes where we may, for example, put it into refrigeration, or we certainly might cook it before we use it. If we then throw it away, all that energy is lost. And when you take that in aggregate, if you look right across the food chain from farm all the way through to a disposal in the home, the greenhouse gas emissions associated with food loss and waste is somewhere between 8 and 10% of global emissions, which means that if food loss and waste was a country, it would be the 3rd biggest emitter of greenhouse gas emissions on the planet.
So how would you suggest that the people in countries where so much food is being wasted, in households where food is being thrown away, how would you suggest they tackle this issue of food waste? Can governments do anything to try and reduce it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of countries around the world have already started taking action in this space. For example, working with businesses to reduce food waste in the supply chain, and encouraging them to do that through things like public-private partnerships, but also things like behaviour change campaigns, focusing on helping us in our homes reduce the food waste we throw away. So there's a number of countries, for example, the Netherlands, Denmark, and the UK, that have actually looked quite hard at what causes food waste in the home and devised behavioural change campaigns that have made a big difference. So one, Love Food, Hate Waste, in 10 years has helped citizens in the UK reduce food waste by around 31%.
Okay, now in terms of the other set of figures, now apparently around 690 million people went hungry in 2019. That in itself is another staggering amount. Is there any way to bridge that gap? Can food waste help reduce the hunger problem?
It is a challenge. It's a really huge challenge, and one I think the report highlights that we need to tackle. One of the things that is being done increasingly around the world is to find innovative ways of taking edible food that's still safe for human consumption, that's simply surplus, and making sure that gets to those in need. So redistributing it to those in need. And that's something that we've seen significant progress in a range of countries around the world. And actually, particularly as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, a big increase in interest and indeed action to make that happen. So I'm hopeful that a lot more of this activity will at least help to tackle this really challenging problem.
Okay, Dr. Richard Swannell, Director of RAP, thank you again for joining us on the program.